Well, I was commandeered to put some door corners in this old square body door, and so I just MIG welded in a couple quick patches, and wouldn't you know it, it warped on me, which is just kind of a normal thing. Anytime you weld something, it's going to want to shrink in the weld area, and so the way to correct that is to planish it out. But in this case, there's no access from the backside. So you can see the situation there. It's pulled in about just over a 1/16 of an inch, all the way where it was welded. And normally, if I was doing the body work on this door, I would just fill right over that. The edges are straight, which is all that really matters. And a 1/16 of an inch of filler, that's literally one coat of filler and you're done. I'm not doing anything else with the rest of this door. I'm not fixing the dents. I'm not doing anything. Literally just welding these corners. So because I'm doing just that and it's leaving here like that, I have to make it a little bit better than what I would normally care to do on something like this. So to do that, we're gonna use the old Unispotter here. I should mention this is absolutely last resort. This is not a miracle tool, but it's gonna work for what we need to do, which is just to raise that up just a little bit so it needs a little less body work in that area. Now this is basically akin to taking a pointed pick hammer and doing all your body work with this. So it's not, again, this is last resort. So I thought I'd do a quick video on how I use this, which is 100% the wrong way that you should not try to emulate. But I'm going to show you anyways. And we're just going to bring that welded area up a little bit to make the panel a little better. And then it can leave here. Now we're not going to be metal finishing any of this. We've MIG welded it and whatever. It's just a quick patch. Again, I just want to get that a little bit better for the next guy who's doing the body work on it. If I was trying to metal finish this door, I would actually split the whole skin off because there's damage throughout the whole door, and then I would have access to the full access to the backside, and then I would TIG weld in these corners. I might actually probably just do a whole door bottom on it, but that's not happening on this project because that's a ridiculous amount of work and unnecessary for an old square body. So we'll set you up on the stand here and we'll start doing the old Pennsylvania porcupine on this thing. So you'll notice I've only got the trigger on for about a fraction of a second. It's not necessary to sit there and burn it in. All that does is just cause the panel to shrink even more, and you're also makes it impossible to get the stud off without cutting and grinding it off. For removing these, I just take some side cutters and just go right down at the base, just like you're pulling a tooth, and pinch on tight, and then just give it a twist, and they pop right off. So another of the many downsides to the Unispotter is that you can only place the studs so close together each time. So what I do is I just bring up each stud incrementally in small amounts, and then I take them off, and then I move the new studs over slightly from where they were before, and then I bring that area up slightly, and then I'll constantly be rechecking it. What you don't want to do is just focus on one stud at a time and try to bring it all up at once, because then you'll end up with a large ripple and high spot or lump in the panel, and at that point you've got a real mess. So we don't want to do that. We just want to bring everything up slightly and just kind of move the studs around so that each area is getting brought up. Another thing I'll mention is typically when you're using this on a dent, what you would do in addition to the slide hammer is you'd also hammer on the high spot around the dent and bringing down that high spot and bringing up the low spot at the same time, just as if you were doing a hammer off dolly type thing, but from the front. So in this case, what we're doing is we're using the Unispotter studs to actually stretch the welded area, which, as I mentioned before, has shrunk. So we're basically doing all of our concentration just on that area and just using the slide hammer to, again, stretch that weld out by using the Unispotter. So that's how that works. Again, the downside of this is we've taken what would be literally like a 1-minute job. If we had access to the backside, we would quickly planish out the welds, and instead we've turned it into a 15-minute job because we're welding on tiny little studs instead of trying to use a large faced dolly or a larger faced hammer to hammer out the area all in one shot. So again, the idea behind this is not to just create a bunch of bumps and lumps, but to try to bring the area up consistently. But like I said, it's like you've only got a pick hammer, so it's quite tedious. So that's kind of as far as I'm going to take it. So I'm just going to hit this with the sander just to clean it up. And you'll see here we haven't created any giant mountains or anything. We've just gradually raised up the low area. And again, this occurred because the weld shrunk, not because it was a dent. But you can see how just pulling up that weld area really brought out the rest of that damage. The whole thing was low before, and just focusing on the weld area, stretching that weld back out with the Unispotter, brought back about 90% of it, which is again good enough for what we're going for. If this was a dent, what I would do is apply pressure with the Unispotter and then maybe give it a couple taps with the slide hammer, and then I take my body hammer around the panel on the high areas and tap it. But because this was actually shrunk, we were using the Unispotter to actually stretch that weld area back out. Again, that is a last resort type of thing, but it worked out okay for us here. If you look at it from this angle, everything is kind of on the same plane now, so that should all be pretty straightforward to body work out. If you look at it with the straight edge on it now, the entire weld area has been brought back up. We're maybe less than a 32nd of an inch low throughout the whole panel, which is not going to take very much body work. You're not getting things perfect with the Unispotter, and you're not getting things perfect with the MIG welder, but you can get them reasonably close. And again, if I was doing the body work on this, I wouldn't have even bothered taking it this far. I would have just filled right over what it was before. That was like a 1/16 of an inch, which is absolutely totally acceptable. But because I'm just doing the door corners on this, we got to finish it out a little bit nicer, at least on our part. I'm not fixing any of the rest of this. It's not my job. So that's how you use the Pennsylvania porcupine technique to straighten out a warped weld on without access to the backside. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Matt from Strong's Garage for inspiring this segment on Unispotters and Unispottering and the wonders of the Unispotter. Matt's been very kind enough to take time out of his day to kind of coach me and help me out with my metalwork and bodywork by sending me a lot of great metalwork and bodywork videos that he's discovered on YouTube. So it's really been expanding my knowledge, and and helping me out to learn the right way to do things. I was definitely headed down the wrong street with my Unispotter and metalwork, but I'm glad to say that I'm now headed on the right path thanks to Matt. So if you guys aren't already watching Strong's Garage, it's a fantastic channel on YouTube. They got a lot of awesome projects, and Matt and Jim are working on a pretty awesome shop there. So I highly recommend that you go check them out and watch their show as well. On another note, I'm sure a lot of you are screaming at the computer. I've already got some comments panicking about the state of the GMC and the fact that I haven't shown you it before I sold it. Well, I'm sitting in front of it right now, and it's still here and it's still being worked on. So don't worry, I will show you the completed truck when I am completed doing what I am doing on it. So there's no need to panic. There's just nothing really going on right now that's worth filming. It's just a lot of sanding and scraping and scraping and sanding and sanding and scraping and cleaning. And so I haven't bothered to record that because most of you, as I've discovered, are just here for watching cutting and welding and hammering and stuff. So it doesn't really make a very good YouTube video. So I'm not going to record any of it. But just because I know there's a few of you who are going to complain that I didn't show all the scraping, please enjoy this short clip here of all the scraping. Well, that was really fantastic, wasn't it? I hope you all enjoyed that. I know I certainly didn't. But anyways, while we're at it, I'll show you a little bullet hole repair that we did on the hood here. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but hood. I guess I'll get banned now. Hood. Anyways, we'll just throw in this clip here of the GMC hood repair. Maybe you'll like that. I don't know. We've got a bullet hole here. you can see we've kind of hammered it out there. See, there's still a crack here, all through here, little hole here. Same deal on the inside. It's quite a tortured mess. And there's the completed repair there. Still a couple of little divots and things, but we're not going to worry about that too much on this truck. The main thing is the bullet hole is gone. And so, yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching. And when we have more going on the GMC, we'll have videos on it, or a couple more videos left before I get rid of it. And before I get rid of it, or after I get rid of it, or at some point in between, we will show a video of the truck as it is completed. And so don't worry, you're not going to miss out on that. But like I said, there's just nothing going on right now that's worth filming on it. I'd like to do at least 1 or 2 more videos on little projects I've got set aside for it, but we'll see how it goes. We're kind of in a pretty big time crunch here to get it done. So not a lot of time for anything else, but we'll try to make some time one way or the other. And so thanks again to everyone for watching. And a huge thank you to all people liking and commenting and on videos. I always enjoy reading your comments. And thanks to all the super thankers and as well as our patrons who have really allowed me to continue putting time into making these videos for you all. So huge thank you again to the patrons.